Once again, welcome back to Crypto Toro. On today's video, I'm going to talk about Nano and how it will be performing in the upcoming days and weeks. But firstly, I would like to thank you for watching my previous videos and even subscribing to this channel. So if you are liking the content so far, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and also the like button down below. So let's get started and let's take a look at Nano. So Nano is a rank 80 cryptocurrency. It has 950 million market cap, and I think it has great potential. It has been in the cryptocurrency space for quite a while now, and it has been performing quite well lately. So not super good, but still I think it has a lot of potential to become even bigger, especially if we take a look at its all-time high. It is approximately around $33. Right now we are currently at $7.16, and I think it has major potential to go once again all the way towards its all-time high. So let's take a look at what we're currently seeing. We are taking a look at the Bitcoin chart, so Nano compared to Bitcoin chart, and what you can spot directly is actually this, well, I will call it a falling wedge pattern nearly over here. And I personally think that if we break out of this pattern, that we will see major moves towards the upside or downside getting created. And how big is this move going to be compared to Bitcoin? So if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, if we take a look at the Nano compared to Bitcoin chart and we take this measurement, for example, if we break out towards the downside right now, if this level of downward sloping resistance, if this level of downward sloping support won't hold strong at this certain moment, we could see Nano breaking out underneath this downward sloping support, finding resistance and breaking out further towards the downside once it is rejected by this downward sloping support line as a resistance once it breaks through. But how big is this possible move towards the downside going to be? So I will be measuring it out for you, and this move towards the downside is approximately 10%. So that would be a small move towards the downside, but still it is a very significant move, especially because at that certain moment Nano will be trading at this part over here, and I personally think that it will be holding strong at this level. But just to be very sure, I will be enabling as well the EMA ribbon to take a look at what the EMA ribbon is telling us. What the EMA ribbon is telling us that for the very first time after a few days, we broke below the EMA ribbon for the very first time, and as you can see over here, it is actually announcing that the shorts took over the longs. So this is quite probable that we will see downward momentum getting created and a major move towards the downside getting started, as we saw over here. That could possibly head all the way towards this level of support here, and if this level does not hold strong, I personally think that it will, especially because if we take a look a little bit further, what we are seeing here at this level especially is that we found several times support and resistance on top of it just previously. And also if we take a look at further back in the past, we will see that it was a major level of support and resistance, and I personally think that this level will still hold strong once we break out of this falling wedge pattern. But let's take also into consideration that we might break out towards the upside. It is less probable, especially because the EMA ribbon for the very first time after a few days we got through it, and we are trading underneath the EMA ribbon that will serve as a major overhead resistance as well as the downward sloping resistance line of the falling wedge. And if we see this 10% move towards the upside getting started, I personally think that we will for sure be getting somewhere around here, possibly staying inside of these two levels of support and resistance, maybe finding support on top or trading underneath in between these two levels. So that is very probable as well if we see a breakout towards the upside occur. So let's take a look what could possibly be happening, and I would like to take a look at the daily chart and enable the MACD to be sure what we will be expecting on the momentum indicator. And what we are seeing over here is that actually we saw a crossover happening, and we right now are seeing downward momentum getting started. So for Nano right now, I think it's more probable that compared to Bitcoin that we're going to break out towards the downside outside of this falling wedge. But as you can see as well on the daily time frame, what is very important is that if we fall through this falling wedge, we don't find support on top of this downward sloping support line, we might get supported by this EMA ribbon at this chart. It might be possible, especially because we got supported several times in the past once we saw a breakout towards the EMA ribbon occur we saw that after that we saw an immediate pump towards the upside, and that also happened here at this period in time where we traded for quite a while inside of the EMA ribbon, and the EMA ribbon supported the Nano strength compared to Bitcoin for sure. So here we are still very holding strong. Also, the downward momentum on the MACD is not everything you would like to focus on, but right now I think the momentum will count a little bit heavier than the EMA ribbon, especially because the EMA ribbon on the 4-hourly chart is actually serving as a overhead resistance. Also, I wanted to enable the moving averages to take a look at what they're currently saying to us, and that is actually something quite good because the moving averages are all three still below the Nano chart, and once we saw that the 50-day moving averages served as resistance for the very last time, we saw the price action of Nano afterwards. We saw immediately that it got supported, and we saw a movement towards the upside getting created. So for sure this could still be possible on the Nano compared to Bitcoin chart. And if we break out even further, I personally think that not only the EMA ribbon will be helping as a major level of support, but also the 150-day moving average for the meanwhile. For sure, the downward momentum on the Big D is something you would like to take into consideration, but right now I personally think that it doesn't look good for Nano, but that it's still holding very strong, and especially because it hasn't broken below this level of downward sloping resistance, and we still have the moving averages and the EMA ribbon underneath us. So that is something I think is very good to know, and that is also why I would like to switch over to the Nano compared to US dollar chart. But before doing so, I would like to show you the Discord server that you are able to join if you use the link down below in the description, and you will be able to exchange your crypto knowledge with others. And also I will be updating my videos and all types of information that I have inside of the server. So I think it would be very nice if you joined the server as well, and it would be highly appreciated if you did so, to share our crypto knowledge with each other. So let's take a further look into Nano compared to the US dollar, and what we are seeing over here is something actually quite different. I do not have the levels of support and resistance over here, but I did draw a Fibonacci retracement from the beginning of the bull market all the way towards its all-time high of 2021, of course. And what we are seeing right here on the daily time frame is that we are getting supported by the 100-day moving average, and that the 50-day moving average is serving as overhead resistance, as well as the 0.618 Fibonacci level at $7.75. So this is something very important to take into consideration, that we might get a little bit fall even deeper due to the MACD that we saw on the daily time frame compared to Bitcoin. And that is also why I would like to take a look at the MACD over here. And what we're seeing here is that the momentum switch on the MACD also occurred on the daily chart compared to the US dollar, and that's very likely that we will head even further down. So we will get supported, I personally think, by the 200-day moving average and by the 0.786 Fibonacci level at $4.81. But for people who are right now wondering, should I buy Nano at this certain point in time, I personally think that you should wait until you see what this momentum is going to do with the price action of Nano for the current moment. Also, I would like to enable the RSI to take a look if there is still enough space to break out towards the downside, and what we're seeing immediately is that yes, there is still enough space to break out towards the downside underneath the dotted line, and we are right now trading in the middle and not seeing any type of bullish or bearish divergence getting created. So for sure, I personally think that we will see Nano struggle just a little bit longer and heading down before we will see Nano finding support on top of the 200-day moving average, and eventually maybe also on top of the 0.786 level of Fibonacci at $4.81. So let's enable the EMA ribbon on the daily time frame and disable the moving averages. And what we are seeing over here is that we might be seeing Nano's price action proceed towards the downside, especially because we broke below the EMA ribbon. The EMA ribbon rejected us several times as resistance, and once we decided to break above it, we got rejected, and right now the shorts are taking over the longs. And what we are seeing is a clear sign that it is very probable that we will see the price action of Nano going towards the downside instead of towards the upside. And that is also what we were seeing on the Bitcoin chart previously. It still looked very good on the daily chart if you take the moving averages into consideration and the EMA ribbon, but the MACD, a huge momentum indicator, is telling us that we will see momentum towards the downside getting created, and also the EMA ribbon is acting as major resistance on the daily time frame compared to the US dollar. And I think those two indicators are actually counting stronger than the EMA ribbon and the moving averages on the Bitcoin chart. And that's also why I think we will be heading towards the 200-day moving average over here, and we will get supported maybe by the 200-day moving average, or even going further down towards that $4.81 level. So for sure, it's not looking very good for Nano, but I wanted to give you a update about this cryptocurrency that I think has a lot of potential, especially because I personally think that the 0.786 level of Fibonacci will be a great level if we hold strong. Eventually, once you see Nano's price action break above the EMA ribbon once again, and we see the momentum switch indicator switching towards momentum towards the upside, I personally think that it would be a great momentum to accumulate Nano at these levels for sure. And that is why I wanted to post this video, and I would like to keep you up to date about what the price action of Nano is going to do. So thank you very much for watching my video. If you enjoyed the content so far, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and also if you're interested in leverage trading, do not forget to use the links down below in the description, where you're able to earn up to $2,000 deposit bonus down on Femex and up to $1,610 deposit bonus on Bybit. So for sure, something you would like to take a look at, especially because you will be also supporting the channel by doing so. So thank you very much once again for watching the video, and have a nice day. So bye bye.